What was the dumbest thing you got punished for at school? Two kids got into a fist fight and I was given a detention because I was in close proximity to them when the fight started. They even told the teacher I had nothing to do with it, but she didn't listen. I've always referred to it as the proximity detention. Should have sent someone else to serve it for you, then you could have detention by proxy. Proxy detention by proxy. I've been waiting 29 years to tell this story. I was in kindergarten and my teacher had brought out a brand new, giant, corkboard that we were all super excited about, because she said she'd be pinning all of our art to it. Then she leaned it against the wall near her desk, and then snack time/recess quickly replaced any thought in a 5-year-old's mind about artboards and corks. Later that day I was called over to the desk by my teacher and the classroom assistant and asked to write my name on a piece of paper. I did as instructed. This turned out to be a mistake, but these ps didn't tell me what was going on, so I had no reason to protest. I innocently awaited an explanation as to why I had been pulled from my construction paper and paste masterpiece. As it had transpired, some other 5-year-old ps that was not me had written my name on this corkboard. I don't know why. I'll never know why. All I know is that everyone involved failed to take into account that all 5-year-olds write exactly the same, and tricking me into writing my name on a piece of paper proved only that I could spell my own goddamn name. I was sent to the office because I wouldn't admit that I had done it. Because I hadn't done it. My mom later tricked me into admitting otherwise by lying and saying she'd been walking past the classroom just then and saw me do it. I thought, whelps, if my mom saw me, I must have done it. It never occurred to me to ask just why exactly she had been there. I trusted her implicitly. It would be the last time. And because of that little bit of motherly betrayal, I was press-ganged into collecting pieces of trash around the kindergarten playground during next day's snack time. I'm still bitter about this. Now that you are grown up, have you asked your mom? I have actually. A couple times. She doesn't remember, but swears up and down that she never would have taken their side in a situation like that if I said I didn't do it. I've made her apologize to me for it, but it doesn't pack the same punch as it would if she actually recalled the incident. Back in middle I never got in trouble, except for this one time when I got my work done faster than everyone else. So I got sent to detention because the teacher thought I wasn't doing anything. The funny thing is when I arrived, even the administrator watching the detention students had a shocked look on their face because they would never expected me in there. They ended up just telling me to go back to class 30 minutes later. I recognize that. At our basic school, my math was very good brag. We had a national math test to determine which level middle school you go to. I had 0 errors, with only a handful of kids nationwide. So the teacher wrote the questions on the chalkboard and I wrote down the answer straight away. So when he was done, I was ready, but the rest of the class just started. What else was I to do but look outside? Teacher got angry at me for not doing anything, but Jay showed him I was done already. He aggressively checked my answers, only to find I made no mistakes. On one hand, I wonder how to check a math problem aggressively, but on the other hand, I know exactly what you mean. Mr. Simmons, why do you need a machete to check my answers? Pipe down you little ps. String cheese. Amazingly, my kindergarten teacher never knew about this incredibly common food. So she kept me in for recess because I was playing with my string cheese. I'm not going to bite into it like a barbarian, Mrs. Harris. I'm in my mid-40s. I had to look up what it was right now. Then again, I don't live in the US. Oh yeah, I didn't think of the regional aspect. I'm early 30s, but it was a staple food for us 90s kids in the US. A teacher once told me I looked at her funny in elementary school and my parents got a phone call saying that I had been rude to a teacher. I still, at 31 years old, have no idea what the ups I did to piss this teacher off. I apparently ate carrots too loudly, got detention for eating. How are you even supposed to eat carrots quietly? Gently gum at them. Take tiny nibbles like a mouse. Swallow it whole? Swallow it whole? No. Get that image out of my head. Stop. Stop. I sharpened my pencil at the same time as somebody else. What were you thinking? You're lucky that you're still alive. I know. It was reckless behavior and I should count my blessings for surviving it. Someone sneezed and I said bless you. Disrupting class 1 hour detention. Oh, you got off lightly. Sounds like there's a story here. Trading Pokemon cards in 8th grade. It was considered gang activity. Any group that had 5 or more people was considered a gang and banned. School was dumb. In 1st grade, me and my friends got in trouble for trading trash packs because according to teachers it could lead to problems if an unfair trade occurs. All trash packs were then banned. Also, I'm really not sure if trash packs were as popular around the world as they were at my school, but basically they're small rubber figurines that had different rarities that you would trade with your friends. Sharpened a crayon in a pencil sharpener in 1st grade. Lost recess and the principal called my mom. Mom was not amused. Yelled at the principal for interrupting her workday for a minor offense. Said that sharpening a crayon was hardly the first step towards juvenile delinquency. Sharpens crayon. This kid has a horrible life ahead of him. It's called learning to make a shiv. Untucked my shirt after school was over. That's pretty NSFW though. The way I walked to my chair. Teacher told me to walk correctly and I told her I was. Then I stuck my tongue out. I was in kindergarten. She turned my chair to the wall. Then I got in trouble again when she told me to turn back around and I said I'd rather look at the wall. Then I got in trouble again when she told me to turn back around and I said I'd rather look at the wall. I'd laugh my ass off at the teacher who was delivered this one-liner. She made a mistake that resulted in me failing a test. Then she accused me of trying to cheat and lie to her and punished me for it. When you're an adult and this happens to you, it's no big deal, it's just another ups you have to deal with. But it's very different when you're a child that trusts and respects authority. I got suspended for not coming to school. Like duh. That's what I wanted. Reminds me of death penalty for attempted suicide, haha. For turning in my project by myself. My teacher said it was unfair to though she was aware that I did the project by myself. And the cherry on the top. Her son was in my group as well, and he did absolutely nothing at all. I failed a project because of that once. Did it all by myself. Told the teacher I did it alone, and she said it was fine, since she'd put me with the slackers. Day came to present, and I got penalized 80/100 points for not working with the other kids. They got full credit, and didn't even have a presentation. They went to the front of the class and straight up said they didn't do anything, and didn't care if they failed. Asked the teacher why she did that afterwards, and she denied ever letting me work alone. Kids in my group happened to have rich parents that were friends with the principal. What I don't understand about that is the point of giving you a lower grade. Just give everyone in the group full credit. That way, you could be steamed that they did zero work, but at least you had a 100%. It's not like giving you 80/100 taught you any valuable lesson. Instead, it taught you the lesson of who you know matters more than the amount of work you do. I didn't get 80/100. I lost 80 points out of 100 points and ended up with a 20% on the project. What? I completely read that wrong. Now I'm incensed all over again. When I was 5 at a public Christian school summer and a mass 5th grade girl just decided to sock me in the gut for some reason, I told the recess duty and she dead ass yelled at me for interrupting her quiet time and made me sit for the rest of recess. Well, if you can't defend yourself, you can't play with the others. I got in trouble for my sparkly hair clips. Was like 8 years old. Had bangs cut. Teacher called it a distraction and taped them back. I'm sorry, thups. It was 4th grade and I went in one Monday with straight end bangs. She duct taped my bangs to my curls like a headband saying bangs were a distraction. I'm sure it had nothing to do with my race and her being openly racist. Another teacher had to put oil and peanut butter in my hair and help me pull it off before I got home, and my parents beat my ass for thinking I did it to myself. It sucked so bad. This was before cell phones, class cams and helicopter parents. Back when teachers could slap the ups out of you. Googled a racist old hag. Guess she died of cancer in 2008. Well, at least there's a happy ending. Oops, lost her hair too. I got detention because I dropped a kumquat on the floor and my friend ate it. She then told a teacher in tears that we forced it down her throat. Lol. I have a similar story to this. Once, I tapped a girl's foot in 3rd grade. At the end of recess, I was pulled aside by my teacher who then said, "Why did you kick Patty today?" At first, I had no idea what she was talking about, so I said, "I never kicked Patty." Patty then comes in sobbing claiming that I kicked her. Definitely one of the most traumatizing events from my childhood. If Patty is out there, you suck. was fighting back against people who were beating the piss out of me. Yeah, most schools do this for some sup reason. It's a zero tolerance policy. It's an excuse for the administration to not have to deal with finding out what actually happened or deal with the root problem. Just punish everyone and call it a day. Yep, friend of mine in high school got suspended for being sucker punched in the parking lot at lunch. Surveillance video even showed the other guy walk up and one punch him without any warning or verbal altercation. But according to the school, he participated in a fight on school property. If that ever happens to my kid and they get suspended, I'm taking them to an amusement park. I refuse to let them feel punished for being attacked. I would just sue. I'd tell my kid not to start a fight, but if he's gonna be hit, he should finish the fight. That's what my parents taught me. A girl who said I looked at her back for too long walked up and punched me in the face on my first day at a new school before the Believe and rang for first period. The principal observed this and decided I had to have provoked her beforehand, so she gave us both detention. I showed up, the other girl didn't. I got in trouble for not showing up. It turned out that the name of the girl who punched me and my name were incredibly similar. Same first name, most of the same letters of the last name. So when the person doing detention saw the names, she marked the wrong one off. No amount of my arguing that I had really been there did any good until I persuaded the principal to speak to the person who marks names off and ask her which race the person was who had shown up. Only then did I get credit for it. But from then on, the principal called me a troublemaker because I had pushed back at her authority. This is why I hate adults. I also hate most kids. So it was probably either the time 7-year-old me got told off for making fun of God for trying to explain what Pastafarianism was, or the time I brought in a cricket ball. My uncle is Pastafarian, but nobody had quite explained to me that entire religion is meant as a joke/satire of sorts, so I seriously thought he believed in a flying wad of spaghetti, and understandably the religion class teacher thought I was taking the mickey out on him. My family were already on dodgy terms with him because we were atheists going to a Catholic school. The cricket ball one is plain stupid though. I'm an Australian living abroad. One day I bring in a cricket set that has a cricket ball that looks like a red tennis ball but very heavy. Teacher then took away my ball and I got in trouble because someone could mistake this for a tennis ball and get seriously hurt. Mind the oversized solid wood cricket bat I had. It was the ball that was the issue. In high school we had a uniform. This uniform included the color of, among other things, jumpers, socks and even shoelaces. Now my high school was in a bit of a strange place, I guess. It was near both very wealthy and very poor areas, along with the usual amount of regular wealth. If you didn't wear the right colors for your uniform, you got an E8. An E8 was a detention for the most of lunchtime, so named after the room where you sat in silence as punishment. Here in Australia, our winters are very mild compared to elsewhere. This means I don't need to own a wardrobe full of jumpers, coats and jackets. I was also poor when growing up, so I owned about two, one of which was much warmer than the other. Pretty much every day during winter in year 9, I got an E8 for wearing a jumper that wasn't the right color. I never told the teachers why. It was really embarrassing. Thing was, I simply just never went to the detentions, which causes escalation. I got given more detentions, which I did not attend. They threatened to call my mum about it, which was exactly what I wanted. After that phone call, where my mum ripped that teacher to shreds on for punishing me for trying to keep warm, I never got another E8 again. I would like to say that because of me the E8s stopped, but they didn't. TLDR, wore on colored jumper during winter. My mum tore a teacher a newts over the phone. Your mom is amazing. A guy in my chemistry class was making fun of people reading. He said books were stupid. I said, well, that's fair if the only thing you've read was The Pokey Little Puppy. Got pulled into the assistant principal's office the next day. I was told that just because you think something doesn't mean you have to say it. I still wonder how that comment escalated so fast. The Pokey Little Puppy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That book is a gem. You take that back.